insurance is an excellent way to keep your family protected, but you need a place to compare multiple carriers so you don't pay too much. That's why eFinancial developed Compare and Share. Their licensed experts compare rates from multiple companies, find the policy that is right for you, and work to save you thousands a year. All it takes is one toll-free call. They do all the work for you. Term life insurance is a smart move. Saving money on your life insurance is even smarter. Call eFinancial today for a free no-obligation quote. 800-291-4210. That's 800-291-4210. They guarantee fast, friendly service. So call for a free no-obligation quote now. 800-291-4210. 800-291-4210.
Call Tim Connolly with Winning Strategies now at 1-800-336-2225 or email talk@winningstrategies.net. Now, here's Tim Connolly.
And we're back live with Mike King in Las Vegas and Gary Chell in Greenwich, Connecticut. And I will answer, I've got 3 or 4 emails here on questions regarding the market. We will answer those after our live interview because we have a patiently waiting guest who's been on the show before, and it's a very, very timely interview. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the fund and then introduce the portfolio manager of the fund. So the Midas Fund, MIDSX, for those of you that want to check it out, or MidasFunds.com, is up a cool 30.15% this year and has been a top performer. Tom Windmill, who's the portfolio manager of the fund, is with us today. He has lots to brag about. He's been on the show before. He's been the portfolio manager of the Midas Fund since 2002. He's been the president of the fund's investment manager since 1995. He's also the president and director for all of the funds. And he has a lot to talk about regarding the gold market and the Midas Fund, the Midas Special Fund, and the Midas Perpetual Portfolio. So, Tom, welcome back to the show.
Well, it's a pleasure to be back. I've always admired what you all talk about on the program. Very informative.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's good to have you back, and it has just been a wonderful, wonderful year for those of us that believe in both the long-term and short-term value of gold. You know, tell us what's happening. Update us, especially for those listeners who have not had the benefit of hearing you before. Why don't you give them the history on the funds and what your goals are, what the investment management style is, and the whole thing.
Well, thanks very much. At Midas Fund, we believe basically in quality investing for the long term. We offer 3 funds: the Midas Fund, which is a precious metals-oriented fund; another fund, which is the Perpetual Portfolio, and it also invests in gold bullion. That's our 5-star fund right now. It also has silver bullion and hard asset securities. We believe basically that you invest in quality and hard assets and invest for the long term. What we're seeing today in gold is confusing some people because gold has been very strong so far this year, but we are reading reports that there's not much inflation, and people associate gold and inflation. I've often asked what is going on there, and we can talk about that later if you'd like.
Absolutely, because it's a reasonable question. People, and it'll be interesting to hear your take on this, because I do hear, well, why would I bother investing in gold? There's no inflation out there. Okay, there's no risk out there?
Well, and that's just it. You know, it's very calm before the tsunami hits the shore, and I kind of think that's what's going on in the markets. You know, Greece was a terrific place to be, a wonderful place to be invested, until suddenly people realized they had a severe problem with the deficits, that government deficits of 13% of GDP. You know, the United Kingdom has 11% deficits of their GDP, and the United States is about 10% deficits. This is not the budget. This is deficits of their GDP. Eventually, these things are to catch up with us here in the United States. So gold and gold investing has a very positive role for U.S. investors.
And up on this morning, $9.20. And I think that puts it at about $12.58. Obviously, there is a lot of demand out there for gold, and certainly for gold as a reliable method of having some currency that's a world currency, that you don't have to worry about governments and their deficit spending deteriorating. Isn't that really a lot of the core issue these days, Tom?
And I think a lot of smart investors are agreeing with you. You know, that a lot of large hedge funds are taking positions in gold. Gold coins are, as you no doubt been discussing with your listeners, have been selling out across the world. In U.S. Banks and in foreign banks, investors are going in and say, I'd like to cash in my local paper currency for gold coins, and we're seeing a lot of demand that way. Some people say, well, gee, jewelry orders are down. Jewelry consumes used to be about 60% of gold production, but that's being supplanted by investors demanding gold for safety as a currency hedge.
Hey, Tom, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We will be back with Tom Windmill, Midas Fund Manager. Great fund to take a look at, and we'll be back after these messages on Winning Strategies.
To the Great American Outdoor Trails Radio Magazine on CRN Digital Talk, CRN2. Every Saturday morning with co-host Jim Ferguson, me Trav at 7 Pacific Time, and here's why. We're the baddest outdoor radio program